Right.
in Indiana Jones 5.
Right.
How would you kill? This is the 5th Indiana Jones. Thank you, Sarah. Anyway, the Shia LaBeouf died in 5. Did you not pay attention during that? There was a moment when Indiana Jones, Indy, was talking with Fleabag. What's her name? His goddaughter. Jeez. And he had, that's how they got divorced. All right, she's back. She's back with us.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
I never thought in a million years this movie would come out, right? Crystal Skull came out in 2008. Here we are in 2023. Almost 20 years later, right? Like close, right? I can't believe we're here with Indiana Jones 5 or Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
Also surprised that we're talking about this movie. I think that everyone involved in this was very surprised that this was still going. So here we are. We're the very kind of parodied trope of the old washed up actor. Not necessarily washed up, but he is retired. Still working. I feel like Simpsons and Futurama have done a bit like this, right? Where it's or maybe even Scary Movie, I want to say, where they talked about like Rocky 15.
Right. Back to the Future did that, yeah.
Yeah, where they kind of parody that, these actors
Jaws.
kind of have this one thing and they keep on doing it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
And here we are. Harrison Ford cashing it in, doing it yet again. Did he say that he's not done making movies? That he's just going to keep on going?
Yeah, he said he was not done making movies. He's done with Indiana Jones. This is it.
I feel like he said that before.
Yeah. No. I mean, like, well, this is interesting though, because this is going to be the first Indiana Jones that's not written by George Lucas, the first Indiana Jones that's not directed by Spielberg. This is going to be an interesting review. Now, I said behind the scenes for the fans that are listening, I said to Eric before we recorded for tonight's episode, or today, depending on what time you're listening, Eric and I are going to fight probably because gloves off. Eric said that this may be his bag of kernels.
This sucks, Jordan.
He says that. I'm saying it's not that bad. I'm saying that, and my point of the show today is to describe what I saw, my journey, and try to talk him off that ledge because it looks like you're almost Trey Parker, Matt Stone, that Indiana Jones is being raped. You're there.
I'm a little bit past that actually.
You're there. This is the accused for you.
Yeah, you know what? Kind of close to it. This is my Halloween Ends for you. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it really, as I'm watching it, now we talked about it before. Before I get going, I want to slow down here. Be patient.
Okay.
Talk
Slow
this
down.
through. Make sure that you cover all the points, or at least most of it, because every time we do this, I come back and listen to it, and I think of 3 things that I didn't mention on the show. I feel like, oh man, people are going to listen to that and think I'm an idiot more than usual. But with this one, let's take it. So you said you had rewatched 1 through 4.
1 through 4, yes.
Before
for this.
Watching this, so we're doing the whole 5-piece here, which was Lost Ark, Temple Doom, and Last Crusade.
And then Kingdom.
Yep. Okay, so out of those, which one is your favorite?
Crusade, the third one. I think that movie, if they made a trilogy for it, that would have been a great ending for the trilogy. I liked the pacing of Crusade. I thought Crusade was a perfect bookend to the previous 2 movies. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I think Sean Connery really meshed well with Harrison Ford. Sometimes when they bring older actors in with the star of the new film, they don't really mesh well. I thought Sean Connery and Harrison Ford meshed well together. So yeah, Crusade's my favorite.
Yeah. So with those 3 movies, you have two of those movies where the enemy is almost absolutely Nazi,
Yeah, two of them are. Yeah,
right? And where,
two movies. Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
And the other one in Temple of Doom, where it is a voodoo kind of cult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we have,
Russian.
yeah, kind of Russians or whatever Kate Blanchett was trying to be.
Russian.
Is that Russian? Is that what she was trying to?
No
Ukrainian?
over the top than what the other villains have done previously.
Sure. I guess Kevin Costner has a better accent than Kate Blanchett.
Sure.
Anyway, and then we have this movie where it's back to Nazis.
Right. We have to go back to the basics here.
That's what I think the issue was, is because this movie, as you said, not written by George Lucas or directed by Spielberg, I feel like the writers and director or whoever on this felt like they had to pay a lot of respect or homage to those other movies. And so they felt maybe in order to make it more Indiana Jones, they had to include Nazis. They had to include a lot of motorcycles. There were a lot of motorcycles in this movie for some reason, which
Right.
I to be honest, I thought this is the part where I actually looked up to see if Spielberg had directed it or not, because Spielberg loves putting motorcycles in his movies. And after watching that Adventures of Tintin movie, this felt like I was like, oh, is Spielberg just like taking bits from his movies before and just like splicing them all together and saying, yeah, this is good enough? But no, it's actually Daniel Rifke that's doing it instead for him. This director can't even spell his own name right.
That's not the director of the movie.
Danial.
That's not the director. Mangold is the director.
That's not what the...
Yeah, Dial of Destiny. It's directed by James Mangold.
Let me take a look here. Why is Google showing me something different here?
Don't know. Because it makes sense. It makes sense from a studio aspect to bring in James Mangold as the director for this movie.
What the heck? Google, why are you showing me this? You're absolutely right, Jordan. Hold on.
Yeah.
That is weird. It says Dial of Destiny right here. Story by right on Google. In that case, that might be my mess up. Google, never going back to you again.
Yeah, James Mangold directed this movie. Eric, you and I have reviewed James Mangold before.
Yes, that would make it a lot sense. I'm trying to readjusting here after this Google flub here.
Well, why you're readjusting is because it makes sense for the studio to hire James Mangold to do this movie, because he just came off of the big success 5 years ago with Logan. So how a studio thinks was his very simplicity. Hey, that old guy superhero movie, it was very successful. Let's hire that director to come do the old guy superhero movie for Indiana Jones. That just makes logical sense. That's why.
Am I looking at all of this? Oh, it's upcoming. That's why. Oh, he also did Ford versus Ferrari.
Yes, he did.
Which was
and you
nominated.
like his film. You like two of his films right now. You like Logan. You like Ford versus Ferrari. You don't like this movie.
Well, yeah. Listen, what is it? Copland, Girl Interrupted. Walk the Line, 3:10 to Yuma, one of my favorite westerns of all time for sure.
So you like James Mangold?
I do, but I also don't, because he also did what? Kate and Leopold.
Come on, man. Everybody has that one movie in their filmography that they sucked on. But we're getting off subject, though.
No. I'll say, because he also did Night and Day, which I don't know why I like that movie. I really do. But
you do like
it's just silly and dumb, which is probably why they, because he can do a little bit of both, and maybe that's why they thought he would do so well for this movie, because he can do serious, right? He can do Logan, Ford, Ferrari, and he can do funny, right? He can do Night and Day, and I guess Kate and Leopold, if you want to call it that. But I don't know. This movie just
we're getting off subject.
Yeah.
No. We're getting off subject. We're getting off the beat. Okay, center, focus, Eric.
Sure. You're right.
You were talking about the franchise, and you were asking me questions, and you asked me what my favorite one was, and I said Crusade, and you seemed to not disagree. Okay. Then you went on to say about the villains.
Oh yes.
And yeah. So then after the villains, what you got next? Do you remember?
Yeah. So
okay.
The other thing was the the goal, the chase that they're going for in these movies. What are
Right.
they after? Because is it after an artifact?
Okay.
Because he is, in fact, an archaeologist,
Mhm.
and he's treasure hunting, or not necessarily treasure hunting, but maybe like treasure recovering, right?
Sure.
Because he's the one that take it and put it into a museum or to be studied rather than it being sold for nefarious reasons, I guess. So, of the 4 movies,
Mhm.
now we're not talking about Dial yet. How would you compare, I guess, the artifacts?
Either know that I love Crusade. Crusade is kind of weakest, right? Because Crusade is just the cup of Christ, right?
This
There's
is the
nothing
Holy
like
Grail. Yep.
it's the Holy Grail. But then also, I actually actually scratch what I just said, fans. I'm going to say the weakest is Temple of Doom. He goes there to investigate. Because I went back and watched all these movies. He didn't go to the Temple of Doom to find an artifact. So what happened was he goes to this village, and this village had these 3 stones that lit up, and the stones got stolen. So the village is like, "Go help us find these stones." This is not some archaeological artifact. These are just these village's stones. So I'm going to say that the weakest is Temple of Doom.
Okay.
But the Grail's the Grail, and
The Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark is look, the Ark, the Grail, the 3 stones, all even number 4,
Which
all
is
which is an alien crystal
a
skull.
crystal skull.
Absolutely. All 4 MacGuffins is what I've been seeing online that people are calling these things. They're all the same category, man. It's farce. It's crazy. It takes something that may be true by a hair and expanding it.
Sure.
So having a Dial of Destiny in this movie, of course Indiana Jones is going to time jump. This makes sense. Now maybe yes it does. Now let me
does not
explain.
make
Yes it
sense.
does. Go see, this is where I'm upset with you on. Because if you had time, because I know you're busy right now, is if you would have went back and watched all 4 of these movies in a couple weeks like I did, you probably would feel different about this movie. The first movie is about the Ark of the Covenant that has demons and angels and souls in it, and when you look at it, your face melts. That's crazy, Eric.
Right.
Number 2, you have a guy who rips out a dude's heart. The heart is beating. The dude's alive, gets lowered into lava, and the heart catches fire. That's ridiculous, Eric.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of religion, just from a movie aspect, we get the Holy Grail. Dude drinks from a nice one, gets de-aged and skeletonized and dies instantly. That's crazy. And then in Crusades, he finds the real Holy Grail, and he's supposed to live forever. Crazy. Then we get alien crystal skulls. Aliens were a part of our world. It makes sense. It's crazy. Now he's going to go through fissures through space. It's crazy. I am okay with this because the concept of Indiana Jones is already Looney Tunes already, Eric.
Okay. I hear you, and I understand the angle that you're arguing at. I would say that the launching point from Crystal Skull is where it gets ridiculous, just a bit more, just because you're adding in this, and you're right. The supernatural have already been kind of playing a part into this, right, with the Ark of the Covenant and your voodoo and spirituality, kind of things like that too. But I think that would have a better theme in Indiana Jones because ancient civilizations, praised those things. They put that onto those objects. And by the way, these things are objects. These are inanimate objects. These are 3 stones that don't do anything. This is a cup that doesn't do anything. This is kind of like a coffer thing that doesn't really do a whole lot of anything besides them opening up, and it just happens to hold the spirits of the world, I guess. Whereas and those are of ancient civilizations and spirituals, things that have existed before, sure. The alien part of it, because we as a civilization can't confirm aliens. I guess we can't necessarily confirm Jesus either.
Or you can't confirm the Holy Grail, or you can't confirm voodoo. So
yeah, you're right on that, Jordan. I guess it just seems like the first 3, it's a bit more of like a smaller thing. Like here's this one little object.
Sure.
that it seems to only affect this one little area, or maybe this with one village, or a little thing at a time. Whereas it seems like the Crystal Skull, it was a lot more global, a lot more worldly. Like they were traveling a lot more, being chased a lot more, with a consequence that involves, well, extraterrestrial life. And whereas the Dial of Destiny, now you have this artifact that is now completely just thrown up in legend. Now they're kind of, that's the other thing too, is that the other two, for Kingdom of Skull and Dial of Destiny here, it seems like that's not like any sort of mythology or tall tale that was told by the village elders down, or through the stories. It just seems like, oh well, we just had to make up a quick story about how Archimedes made this machine that can do this one time. And there's no basis of religion, there's no foundation for an entire culture to have praise or belief around that. It's just, and also only a few people know about it. Like everybody, whether you're religion or not, kind of knows about what the Holy Grail is. It's become just a term, Oh, hey, that's the Holy Grail of such and such. You use that term to say, like, this is the mother lode, this is the big payout. And the Dial of Destiny, if this was such a huge thing, then why wasn't this kind of, I don't know, just more brought into the public world a bit more as far as the knowledge? And I'm sorry, and the other part of it too, you know what? I feel like I'm griping about that, but the movies themselves, between Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny, I feel like the way the plot moves was much more pushed than discovered in the other three. In the other three, I feel like it was Indiana Jones or team going through and finding it, whereas in these two movies is Indiana Jones scratching his head and be like, well, geez, how do I figure out about this? And then someone comes in and goes, I know all about that.
Right. I do agree with you on that. 4 and 5 does have its issues. I'm not going to praise this movie. I'm not going to give it a high rating.
Sure.
Because I think it's great. It's just when I talked to you off air about this, it killed you, and I'm trying to bring you back to earth, saying I've watched all 4 of these. I haven't
gotten there yet. I'm saving it. I told you.
I know you're saving it, but
saving it.
what I'm getting to you at, and for the people that are listening who may feel the same way that you do, it's this is no far-fetched. The MacGuffin of going through time is not far-fetched compared to what we've seen before. What I think what you're trying to say, and maybe this is the way I'm interpreting it, maybe something that's more universal, like maybe Indiana Jones and the Lost City of Atlantis, maybe Indiana Jones and the Lost City of Pompeii, something that we would generally as society would know, because aliens, we all know aliens, but a Dial of Destiny, we've never heard anything about this. But then the argument goes back to, we never heard of the Ark of the Covenant before. That's not a thing.
Sure. Or the three rocks, right?
Or the 3 rocks. It's not a thing. So,
but those are still objects that are based in religion.
This couldn't be. I mean, like it couldn't be, because
maybe the Crystal Skull, having
the Crystal Skull, maybe. But Eric, I'm sorry, if you invented a time machine and you say this is proof that I invented a time machine, I'm now God. Praise Allah. Let's go. Like, all right, I believe you. There it is. So it's the same thing to me, man.
This is just it's a way bigger. Like, this has way more time traveling has a lot more consequence,
Right.
than the 3 stones.
Drinking from a cup.
Than drinking from a cup. Like there's just a lot more that you can, I don't know, do with that, and it just seems like there's now no consequence.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Like, for all the other things, Indiana Jones and company had to be very careful about what they were doing, because they knew that there was consequences. But now in this one, Indy, a seasoned college professor, a master of history and archaeology, decides, oh, you know what? I'm just going to stay back here in 2 BC or whatever time that was, 14 BC or something like that. And it's just like, yeah, this should be okay. There shouldn't be anything wrong with this. Like, this is how it's supposed to happen, type of thing. And it just seems, oh boy.
So
Eric,
wait,
time travel exists this entire movie, this entire 4 span of movies, like this, it's happened this entire time.
Wait a minute. You can take a heart out of a guy throughout this whole 4 movie and let him live. See, we're gonna keep on going down this circle.
But
I
that's
think
just
the
it.
thing.
If you could take a heart out of no, if you take a heart out of that guy, he's dying. That's a sacrifice. But you're telling me that I have a time machine and I can take an entire, I guess, platoon, right? A entire squad of Nazis, and I could try to travel them back into a certain time period and take control of the world again. That's huge. That's a big
Right, that
part.
is big. That is a big part. You're right. I will give you that because this movie is written very poorly. I'm on record as saying that I'm not a Lucas fan. I'm not a Spielberg fan. I know people just go nuts over Spielberg, and I'm here to tell you, fans, he's not really a great director. He knows how to make pop culture hits when he hits it right. If you look at Spielberg's filmography, overall, they're all stinkers. He has probably less than 10 great films out of the 50 that he's made.
Yeah,
That's not
8
good.
millimeter was not that good.
It's not good. And he didn't direct that.
Did he produce it?
Yeah.
Well, it had his name on it, and it sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his name was on Transformers. So but I will say this, though, after talking crap, Spielberg is missing in this movie. One of my biggest gripes, besides the writing of this movie, Eric, is the pacing. We watched 1, 2, 3, and even 4, even Kingdom of the Crystal Skull moved. It moved. It did its beats. It hit its points. It's moved. This is the 5th time. It knows what it's doing, right? Kind of like the 5th Fast and Furious movie. It figures it out and knows what it has to hit, right? This movie is dragging and dragging, and it took way too long to get, and the scenes were long. These chase scenes were long, and
very long.
And you fail as a director, not as a writer, because there's not much you can write with action being chased through the streets of Egypt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you fail as a director where you're doing a big action sequence and I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah.
You completely fail. What you do fail on is make this in 1969. So let's talk history real quick. I watched all these movies. I took notes. I literally took notes. My wife's my witness. They say in number 3, once you drink from the cup of Christ, you will live forever in eternity.
Except
you
watch the movie, so you should come on.
Except if you are a writer for Hollywood, because Sean Connery dies in Crystal Skull.
But no, they said when you walk through the barrier, then the spell is broken. Then the effects are worn off, and which they did. He walked through the barrier to save his father, right?
That's her show, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.
Yeah, he did say that. So, okay, so it's 1969, and we know that Indiana Jones was born in 1899. We know that from a fact. So, why have this make in 69? Them having the moon. Okay, first of all, this movie open. Okay, let's go to the opening. This movie opens in 1944, 1945, and we de-age Indiana Jones to have him go on a train with a bunch of Nazis. I will say, though, that this is the best de-aging we've seen. This is the best.
Oh, yeah.
This is the best. They started doing it with Terminator 4 Salvation. They did a terrible job with Carrie Fisher in Star Wars. His de-aging in this is good. So the whole point of this Nazi thing is this is Indiana Jones after the timeline is the opening train sequence happens after The Last Crusade, but before Crystal Skull. And he's on this train because there's all these artifacts. All of them are fake. And then Le Chiffre, who was the villain from James Bond Casino Royale, has the actual dial, right? That's the whole thing. Complaint number 1 of this movie, because we're going to jump, because this is our episode's already going long. They're on top of the train in the beginning of this. They're fighting. A bunch of Nazis are dying. Le Chiffre, the villain, gets smacked in the face by a silver beam.
Okay, when you say Le Chiffre, let's is Mads Mikkelsen, right?
He plays a great Nazi.
Yeah, whatever. Well, he always plays a good villain. He plays
He played Hannibal.
Yes, of course.
That
Mads
dude got smacked in
Mikkelsen?
the face, right? That guy got smacked in the face by a silver beam.
Yeah. No, he got
He's
hit.
dead. He's dead.
You would think.
Also, wouldn't Indiana Jones be dead when the bad guy's on his back and he's lifting Indiana Jones up and they're in the tunnel and his back is being scraped by
Yeah,
that?
I would have
He
completely thought that his
dead.
back would have been destroyed from that.
But no, so now we jump ahead to 1969. Why have okay, so are they landing on the moon or are they coming back from the moon landing? Because the whole city of New York or this section of New York is celebrating what? The moon landing?
The moon landing.
Or
I think
okay.
I think it just happened, and
So they
everyone
just
is
landed on the moon.
yeah, and everyone is kind of caught up in the celebration of the global accomplishment of mankind, right?
Okay. All right. So then Indiana Jones is a seasoned, like you said, professor. And then we have these groups of people. We clearly have Nazis trying to come after him, clearly. And then we have Fox and Cleopatra coming after him. You got that joke? I say
Yes,
that
yeah,
because that's exactly who she was playing. Whoever that actress was, it's not her fault because she did what was written.
Shawnette Renee Wilson is her name. She played Mason
Talk-
as the character.
Well, talk about Foxy Cleopatra because that's who she played, and she died playing Foxy. She sucked in this movie.
Yeah, the character seemed very out of place. It seemed, yeah, like she wasn't trying to blend in very much. But I don't know. It's the '60s. CIA definitely has their own thing, but yeah, when you're dressing like that, you're gonna get some looks. She was
Hey.
she was looking good.
Foxy Cleopatra, a whole lot of woman. How do you feel about the studio? And this is our one PG-13 swear word for the show. How do you feel that the studio completely just said "fuck you" to Shia LaBeouf and just completely just said, "Oh," like they didn't even say anything about what happened to him until the middle of the movie. Like it was a camera pan of a camera panning in Indiana Jones' apartment, and there's the triangular flag with Shia LaBeouf's picture, and it's like,
Yep.
middle of the movie. So jump ahead in the middle of the movie. Indiana Jones says, "Oh, if I could go back in time, I would tell my son not to enlist in the Vietnam War." That's how they kill Mutt. Oof.
Yeah. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of how they did that, or that it was the reason that he and Marion had divorced because of that. It I don't know. It's a studio.
I didn't like that.
It's a studio thing. I guess. What's the other option is that we get Shia LaBeouf to come here to be new Indy Junior.
No, what you do is like my wife says. We're watching this movie, and the camera pans, and we see the triangle flag and everything, and I go, "Oh my God, Shia LaBeouf's dead," and she went, "Well, they recast it in The Dark Knight with Katie Holmes. Can't they just recast him?" I was like, "Great point, Gina.
Yeah.
Why not recast? Why not recast a known name? Who cares?"
Yeah. I do feel like more and more often now people are being okay with the recasting.
Yeah, just recast him.
I really don't think it's that big of a deal because I think that's what that might happen with Marvel.
Because look what you know how people complain about how in Alien 3 how Fincher killed all the characters that they loved, like Hicks and Newt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what it feels like for this, because I know people always have to talk. You did your joke earlier about Shia LaBeouf swinging like Tarzan. That's one little scene out of a movie. I mean, like, we spent the entire movie with him.
Right.
We're supposed to care about him. So to completely have this character that we spent a whole movie with, to just a picture on a wall and say that he died in Vietnam, they did him dirty. And I wish they would have done something different.
Yeah. Who do you think would have been recasted? Would you want someone?
Andrew Garfield?
Oh, that's not bad actually.
Tom Holland, maybe, since he did Uncharted. I mean, somebody.
He probably couldn't do this because he did Uncharted.
Right. I mean, of course, me and a lot of other people were pushing hard for Chris Pratt, but star has faded. What I don't like in this either. Okay, so my biggest complaint of this whole movie is the writing, is the pacing, right? So my argument to you at the beginning of the episode, Eric, was don't be pissed because of the MacGuffin, because this is nothing crazy you haven't seen before. However, though, the pacing, the writing of this movie is terrible.
Yes.
And what I'm getting at is that Indiana Jones has been superhuman this whole time, all 4 movies. We see him at his weakest moment. I don't want that right now. Like, I mean, I don't want him at his weak moment.
He's
I want
an
him to
old
be
man. He's by default, as you started this movie, at his weakest moment.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, like he still does fun, fantastical things. He's still a superhero, if you will. But I don't want to see him.
Yeah, obviously, after this movie.
He's a superhero in the other movies.
No, listen, when in the other movies, when he were to get hit with something, then he felt it a bit more. There was a mark there. If he got burned, he actually went, ow. And then, they would play back on it like, oh, if he gets hit there again, oh, that's right, he got burned. Oh, it hurts. But in this movie, no, it doesn't fucking matter. Sorry if I dropped that word, but to get me going here. He gets shot, Jordan. He gets shot. He gets shot in the left shoulder, that's where your heart and a lot of the things, your vitals are. He gets shot, and he just lives. He continues to go on for another couple hours. He goes into an airplane. He goes back in time with the bullet wound. He puts on a parachute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's still, and he wakes up the next day, and Marion's there. And he's got a little Band-Aid, a little arm sling, a little cup of water, some aspirin. Like, oh man, yesterday, whoa, Mondays, am I right?
That pissed you off compared to everything else. All right.
Well, okay, there's a lot, because there's that. There's the whole like why John Rhys Davies was just popping up whenever he needed to. Whenever
Who's that?
His buddy Salah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. It was cool to see him in this.
There was a whole bunch of nostalgia grabs in this too, right down to the bug scene, Jordan. It was
Right from
hard.
Temple.
Yes, exactly. And every time that they needed an answer, an answer came almost instantaneously. How are we gonna? Boom, there it is. Oh, but what about the? Boom, there he is. Well, what are we gonna do about the? Boom, there it is. It was so hard, because it's just like a hack comic telling jokes that I've heard for 20 years.
Okay.
I'm just saying, this other part of it too is that because the other movies might have had it as well, but not always. This one seemed to happen every single time, where Indiana Jones and his goddaughter Helena, who doesn't ever seem to be on his side, by the way, until the end.
Oh, she's terrible.
Yeah,
I don't like her.
I don't like her at all. But wherever they would go to do the thing, go through the wall, open this, open that, right behind him is not just Mads Mikkelsen or whatever, Dr. Voller, but like
the Nazis.
The Nazis, not just the doctor himself, but like his 6-person entourage there. They just roll up here. Indy had like 4 days advance, like they're just going wherever they need to go, and not telling them, by the way, Dr. Voller, where they're going ever in these riddles, but somehow Dr. Voller already knows where they're going, because they all can speak this ancient language that was not a language, a code that Archimedes spoke in 2 different types of code that only existed. Oh, by the way, the only people that can speak that, they're all in this one room right now. All 3 of them can speak this. Stop.
Okay,
that.
so
stop.
Okay.
That.
All right, so there were a few times in the other Indiana Jones movies, like in Crusade, as you will, they were in the sewer where the rats were, and she was like, the blonde girl was like, can you decipher what it says? And he goes, this language has been spoken in 2,000 years, and he does it.
He does it again when he goes back in time.
I'm just telling you that he's done it before.
Right? Yeah, Indiana Jones is able to speak.
It.
He can read, write Sanskrit. Sorry, I'm getting worked up, Jordan. I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I think this is fine when you get worked up, because he's done it before in other movies. So being mad that he's able to decipher codes or languages that hasn't been spoken forever, he's done it before in other movies.
Sure.
I mean, so it's not that big of a deal. I think what you're mad about Actually, you know what?
No.
I don't.
He took some paper and he like took a crayon over it
He
and
took
like
a crayon over it, but he was able to decipher it.
right. Well, in this one, I guess he's just so sharp at speaking whatever code alpha that Archimedes was that he didn't need any of that. He could just look at it and be like, oh, yep, that's A B C D E F G right there.
Wouldn't you be 40 some years later after knowing all the stuff that you've known? I mean, I'm just trying to say,
No,
like,
if I'm
come
sorry
on.
to interrupt here, Jordan, I lose my phone. I lose my car keys in my house. And you're telling me that this guy's gonna remember a language 50 something years after he first discovered it? No.
You're not Indiana Jones, dude. You're Eric. Forgetting your phone, you need an air tag to help you. Indiana Jones is the air tag. I mean, come on, man. You're talking about a fictional character.
Maybe if
who's
my phone
magical.
could predict time fissures, yeah, in the sky that I need an airplane to get to, I guess.
Look, yes, it is ridiculous.
How the hell does that thing work, by the way, too? Does the dial tell them like what area and what latitude they need to? Archimedes says latitude, longitude. You told me the ancient Greeks had latitude, longitude.
So are you trying to tell me that other civilizations, what, the Mayan calendar, they know exactly what our count? I mean, because of them, we have our calendar. So
sure.
I mean,
Did they invent latitude, longitude?
I don't know. Somebody had to invent it.
They came up. By the way, the calendar that we use is Gregorian calendar, right? Isn't that the Christian?
I don't know. This Mayan calendar 2012, people freaked out.
Oh, they predicted sun patterns, right? It is like solar and like astrological kind of harvest patterns, right? I don't know if they did calendar. I'm sure that's pretty accurate. But all right, we're getting off into something else here.
No, we're not. We're getting on subject because like
there's no Mayans in this movie, Jordan. It's only Nazis.
There's no Mayans in this movie. There's Nazis and then there's Nazis.
Then there's apparently ancient Greeks.
Who would you rather have been the bad guy? I mean, you got Nazis, you got Russians. What, the Koreans? Would you rather see him be going against Kim Jong-un? Like, I mean, what do you want? What do you want for Indiana Jones 5?
Yeah, actually, how about why not that Indiana Jones 5? Have it be around that part of Vietnam, right? Isn't that would that be coming up?
Well, it's 69, so it just
around the corner, maybe.
Yeah, it's almost ending. But what is there in Vietnam? I mean, but then you're going.
I don't know. I guess
right.
Some artifacts in Cambodia or something. I don't know. Have them. You could make up anything. Have them go to Australia and have there be like some mercenaries there that are fighting because they want to, steal this artifact. The ancient. What's that boomerang of whatever the heck it is, and they want to take it to use it for its power so they could throw it and go back in time instead of it being Nazis yet again. What's their plan? Is they're going to take this dial, they're going to dress up as Nazis, they're going to go back in time and do more Nazi stuff.
He's going to go back in time and assassinate Hitler and take over the Nazi party. Because he knows the future, so he knows what and what not to do.
That's the dumbest thing. You're telling me
How is that dumb?
Okay, you're telling me that this German is going to go back and kill Hitler, right?
Sure.
And just be like, all right, hey everyone, I'm also German, so I'm the new Hitler now. And like the Nazis are just going to be okay with this random German killing their leader and being like, oh well, I guess you'll do because you came back in time.
His logic is not valid. He's just a crazy bad guy. How many crazy bad guys have we seen that don't have great logic, that just do bad guy things, a la Joker, Joaquin Phoenix? This plan ain't made no damn sense. We went with it.
But in this series, those bad guys often die because of their own hubris, because of their own greed, because they feel that, oh, well, I can take this cup out of the barrier, this grail out of the barrier, and live forever, and I can drink from it. I won't definitely rot and turn into a ghost. Or, oh, well, I can open up this covenant, this ark here of the covenant, and I'll be okay because I'll be blessed with all the secrets here. These are the bad guys who think that, oh well, I deserve this, whereas this is a guy who's just kind of taking it all over, right? Like he's going back in time to kill somebody. It's a far-fetched plan rather than it being somebody who feels that they've reached the top of the mountain and now here's their reward.
It's definitely a far-fetched plan for somebody who has somehow become who was a Nazi, who got hit in the face with a steel beam, that's now in America who helped develop the space shuttle for Apollo 11. Why not space? I mean, like if this
because Fast and Furious already did it.
True. No, yes, but like okay, why not space though? Because the last one, a Crystal Skull, it happened in the 50s because you got the Red Scare, you got UFOs, Area 51. That makes sense to have aliens. So if this movie's going to open after the train with the moon landing, then you would think this will go into space. I mean, and you also have the bad guy that helped develop the space shuttle. Why isn't this in space?
Well, you know what? In that part, then, even with like Crystal Skull, I would think that there's opportunity to do like a Roswell there, right? Like there's some.
Well, they said that
in Crystal Skull.
Yeah, they said that. They said when Cate Blanchett kidnapped him in the beginning, when they were in the warehouse, she said that you were part of the Roswell landing dig, so you know these things, you know what happened.
So to gloss over that, I feel like there's a bit more of a story that they could have, had there a bit more. That like something like that is more widely known, and so maybe if there was a secret there, more people would be globally, people would be more interested to look into maybe the secrets of Roswell, and then they find secrets, and now suddenly the Nazis are interested because, oh wait, we've heard that this one of the Roswell spaceships has this element on there that we can go back in time with, rather than it being oh, hey, once upon a time we heard the story where Archimedes maybe made a clock that can go back in time, but he broke it in half, and Indiana Jones has the one half, and the other half is somewhere else. Buried in a wax tablet?
Buried in no, it's not buried in a wax tablet. So
encased in a wax tablet, excuse me.
Not even that. So he gets his help from his captain, his sea captain, Antonio Banderas. Right?
Making his return, right, as he was in Crystal Skull?
Antonio Banderas was not in Indiana Jones movies.
He was in every single one of them.
No, he was not.
Every single one of them, buddy.
No, the first one was Dr. Octopus, but,
yeah, this is...
Toss me the idol.
Now, there you go, Indiana Jones in the multiverse.
Right. So we get into another callback, the snake pit, right? There is a bunch of vicious electric eels in this water, and they're like, oh, it's like snakes. I was like, oh, this is a snake pit. And they go down to retrieve this wax plaque. And and then after you retrieve it, if you put it on fire, it gives you a map, and the map is where the other half of the idol is, which is on Archimedes. It's nonsense. Because at this point, I am checked out. I mean, Eric, I will tell you when I checked out of the movie. I checked out the movie when he goes to, Egypt or whatever, and he sees his goddaughter trying to sell the half of the dial. And they have an auction, and he does the whole whip thing, wah-pa, wah-pa, and everybody has guns. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Like, okay, I've been there. I've done. Okay, Indiana Jones, I get it, but like, I just don't. I was checked out, and the movie kept going and going and going and going, and then they also have. I can't believe they bring this character. Why did they bring back Short Round?
His name is Teddy.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. Is like, why have Teddy, this kid that's, Is the studio trying to say that the goddaughter is going to be the new Jones, and this is her Short Round?
I don't know, but the kid can apparently fly an airplane because he was taught on cardboard controls by somebody on the ground, so he can fly an airplane. You know this. This also movie this happened in was Snakes on a Plane, and remember when they asked, "Hey, can anyone fly this? Can anybody fly this?" Yeah, I'm not gonna do my Samuel L. Jackson. And then Kenan Thompson was just like, "Oh yeah, I've been playing it on PSP for a few months now. I can land a plane."
You know what? Look, you're not
video
games
and airplanes are the same thing. Yeah, no, I get it. We didn't even talk about Basil at all.
Yeah, so let's talk about Basil. Let's talk about his MacGuffin friend who is clearly written to be his the dean, the guy who died in number 4. He was in the
Yes.
original 3. That's clearly who that's supposed to be. This is just a buddy that says ND a bunch of times, and I thought the dude was dead on the train. I said this to my wife. I was like, dude's dead on the train. There's no way that his best friend's gonna survive. That doesn't happen. Best friend survives, has the dial, and he has been obsessed over this, and he has a daughter. So in the time of being obsessed with a dial, he ended up having sex with a woman and has a daughter, and somehow Indy's the godfather.
Gotta get his mind off the dial, all right?
It doesn't look like the guy could get his mind off the dial. And then Indy straight up lies to him. Indy goes to his house. This is a jerk move. Indy goes to the dude's house and is like, give me the dial. And he's like, no. And we're like, we're old men. We're going to fight. Right? And then Indiana Jones takes the dial, and then his buddy's like, you're going to destroy it, right, Indy? You're going to destroy it. And then he's like, yep, I'm going to destroy it. No, he didn't. And then somehow his goddaughter knew that he didn't destroy it. I don't know how. She was like 10 years old when this scene happened. So she goes to find him, and then he shows her the dial, and she's just like, hey, I knew you had a dial the entire time. Yoink, I'm going to go sell this in Egypt. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah,
How would she know? How would she know that he had it? As far as she knows, at 10 years old, he destroyed it.
Well, didn't she also say that she had like spent her like life, I don't want to say life, but she had spent her,
A good
a good chunk of her time
Yeah.
studying Archimedes and everything about the dial and everything there is to know about it. And so
Right.
here she is, imagine you've spent a decade of your life studying and just overall just fascinated, enthralled with this object, this mysterious object. And now suddenly you're at this point where it's right in front of you. You have it right here. Do you want to look more into it? Do you want to observe it? Do you want to unlock its secrets a bit more? Hell no. I'm going to take this and find who wants to buy it first.
Right.
What?
Because she owes debt to a love-struck prince who just wants her because he loves her. That's what the whole chase sequence was.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was
Raheem is the
Yeah,
guy?
he was like, "Oh, just love me," or whatever he says. This is like that. Oof.
That's a weird thing. Also, that's another thing that seems to be happening in movies. We did this with Extraction, and I'm sure there's many others, where the character, or in this case, the secondary or co-main character here, they always seem to be in a relationship or have some sort of knowledge relationship with somebody who is just like the leader of a country, or like,
Sure.
oh, I didn't know that you were engaged to the mafia boss of of Japan. Like, what? That's crazy. Oh, I didn't tell you that my husband was the president of Europe. It's
President of Europe.
but like it just seems like, oh, you didn't mention that your ex-lover was a drug dealer, and now we're gonna have 50 killers after us.
Right. No,
And-
it's crazy.
And
it's-
good thing we have this 13-year-old kid who can drive a bike, car, and plane.
So they finally get the other half of the dial, and excuse me, and I'm thinking, okay, because I don't know how this works, right? So I'm thinking that they get the other half of the dial, and once they put it together, like a ripple will happen in front of them, and they can go through a portal.
Fits together like
that's
a play school toy, by the way, too. Just
it
like
always does.
like a
It
necklace
always
that. Yeah, go ahead.
Always does. But aren't you thinking the same thing too? Once they put the dial together, all of a sudden there's going to be like this brrr, like a vibration noise, right? Standard, right? The camera shakes, and then in front of them opens this portal that looks like a vagina, just like, we go through that, right?
Sure.
But no, it's like, oh yes, this dial gives me latitude and longitude of different fissures that happen throughout. So we're going to dress in Nazi garb. We're going to march on a public airport. We're going to march like Nazis. Get on a Nazi plane that had the Nazi symbols on it.
Yep.
Okay, right? And then we're going to fly through this fissure. And then Indiana Jones, this is the point where he gets shot in the shoulder where you completely are pissed.
Oh, he got shot before then. He got shot
Well, no,
before
he-
then and
he
was
got-
brought to the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pissed. You're pissed.
Well, yeah, because by the time he's on the plane, he's already been shot for like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, too. He seems to be okay with the blood loss. In fact,
Hey.
I think at this point the wound probably just closed itself up at this point.
Mr. Orange was fine with the blood loss. He passed out once in a
That
while.
jacket that Indiana Jones is wearing is the real hero. I guess it can stop him from getting his back demolished in the train when the bad guy pushed him up on the tunnel, and he's able to, I guess, just hold wounds and stop them from bleeding, because every time he's wearing that jacket, it just stops bleeding. But as soon as that jacket comes off, it.
So why are you okay with Mr. Orange bleeding constantly and not dying, but you're not okay with Indiana Jones bleeding? I don't understand.
Mr. Orange, didn't everyone else who got shot in that movie die?
Yeah, but Mr. Orange got shot in the beginning, paraphrasing because it's told out of order. And, he's bleeding throughout the whole movie. He's not dead. Indiana Jones gets shot in the shoulder. Mr. Orange got shot in the gut.
Yeah, so you're saying that Indiana Jones is Mr. Orange and that he got shot once and is able to live, but that everyone else around him is... Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, too. Indiana Jones, stop having friends. Everyone else around you is just constantly dying, man. Like, Antonio Banderas gets shot. Who was the person before? Like, you know what I mean? Everyone gets shot.
Everybody gets shot.
If you know Indiana Jones, except for him. But even when he does get shot, he's fine.
But isn't that the part of the movie, though, where it's like, he's not going to die? So if you know he's not going to die, if you are the writer and you know that the audience knows you're not going to kill him, why shoot him? Shoot him in the leg at that point, right? If you're going to make the audience, some idiot in the audience going, oh, isn't he going to die? Don't shoot him. We talk about the henchman. I want to talk about how Dave Bautista was clearly missing this movie to be that big, tall henchman.
That was huge.
That guy was awesome. And he had a terrible... I felt for that guy. That guy had a bad death. I want to describe the scene. So the new short round gets handcuffed to this big, tall guy, and they go into the water, and somehow they stumble upon this little sewer cage thing in the water. So the kid gets out of the cuff and handcuffs the big guy to the fucking sewer thing, and the camera cuts to the next scene. And as it goes to the next scene, I'm like, oh my God, the big dude's struggling for air. The dude is handcuffed to the sewer thing. That's horrible.
The kid is a killer. Kid kills people.
So did Short Round.
Yeah.
So,
but the Short Round didn't get to go back in time, nor did he fly a plane.
True. So this is the part where you get pissed, right? So Indiana Jones is shot, and Indiana Jones is like, hey, the longitude thing is wrong or whatever. We're not going back to 1939. We're going back to where the Romans attacked Syracuse, not New York. Ha, ha, ha. And we're in this battle, right? And I couldn't help to think, oh, where's Brad Pitt in this movie? And you get it because of Troy. And which is not the same thing, but I just wanted to be that guy. Let me be that guy. You didn't like that? I'm mad. I'm mad at this point. So go ahead.
Archimedes had the latitude and longitude, but Indiana Jones was smart enough to figure out that 1,000-something years ago, 2,000-something years ago, makes a difference between 10 degrees of latitude and longitude. How did you know that?
How did he know to close his eyes to not look at the angel so his face doesn't melt?
Wasn't there, because he has a study? Didn't his dad in Ark of the Covenant? Didn't his dad spend a whole time
His dad wasn't in that movie.
No, didn't he have his journal? Wasn't it the book or?
No, that's Last Crusade.
Oh, jeez.
I'm talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark. When him and Marion were tied to the post, how did he know to close his eyes, Eric? He said, "Don't look at it, Marion."
No, wasn't there? Oh, I swear, I'm gonna have to rewatch that, and maybe someone else for the Ark of the Covenant. But no, there was a part when he was learning about the Ark of the Covenant where it said that you are not holy enough to see or something like that, or maybe adding that in.
Watch it.
I will have to add it. Well, you missed the Holy Grail part 2.
Well, that was paraphrased.
No, you're right.
Okay?
I just like Dial of Destiny, probably just making stuff up.
I actually found it laughable that this big silver metal bird is flying in the air, and all of these ancient people, I guess you would say, are just like, oh, let's just shoot it. Like they're not memorized. They don't stop fighting. Like it goes with the flow. And there's two big steel metal birds flying in the air, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about planes here, folks. I mean, come on. If you would think that if we were fighting in a war now and a UFO would like come over the beaches of Normandy, maybe the two sides would stop for a second and go, "What the heck is that?"
I will say
I'm
that
just saying.
it was pretty cool to see a Nazi get shot out of the plane with a giant, what is that, like a ballista
That was pretty
missile
cool.
there?
Got
Yeah.
the big, huge like spear thing.
Yeah.
Those Nazis got destroyed. And then so then Indiana Jones gets his superpower on, gets onto a parachute, and the main bad dude gets wrecked, dude. He crash lands. They actually show his body too. So there's a body, there's a death, right? He's mangled. He looks to. Actually, I was amazed that his body was intact. I thought a piece of him would be over there and over there.
They crashed in a plane down into ancient Greece, right there, or Rome, wherever they were, and yeah, I'm surprised too that after a plane accident, that their Nazi bodies, stayed intact for observation of Archimedes.
I'm surprised the Archimedes and his boys didn't like go to the plane that was on fire and try to study that, or maybe they do off camera.
I'm sure
but it's like
they will, but I think he was quick to get to the visitors.
Right. So then this is where Indiana Jones is speaking to him, and then clearly, and Jones is like, "I'm going to stay," and like his goddaughter's like, "You're not." And this is the part of the movie where it got me for a second, and I'm like, okay, why they're talking long dialogue about staying or not. It was too long. So it gave me time to think. And I'm like, okay, does it make sense for Indiana Jones to stay back in time because he's an archaeologist? That's stupid, but okay, I'll go with it. This is just not where I want him to be. And then I'm like, nope. They're not going to have that happen. They're not going to have him stay. And then he survives by getting sucker punched in the face by his goddaughter to wake up the next day in his bed with Marion coming back, pretty much saying, "Hey, big guy, I was upset with you because the script said I was because our son died in Vietnam, but I'm here now making you breakfast."
Yep. So again, just to recap, and I'll let you continue. Indiana Jones can get tossed, choked, punched, kicked, thrown, shot by Nazis and be okay, but when his goddaughter punches him once, he gets knocked out.
Well, she's stronger than him.
That's right. She is stronger than a Nazi. I forgot about that. Go ahead.
She doesn't have. She does not have the Nazi weakness.
She's got big hands, like a rock giant.
Yeah, I mean, why not at this point?
That's why she's always wearing gloves.
I hate the fact that we have Marion back. Having Marion back and Crystal Skull was cool just to have her back, but to have her be, the mother of, of the son and Indy the father, I didn't like that in number 4.
Yeah.
So to have her back here again, Marion's not his love interest. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to the girl in part 2? Like,
was she a movie star or something like that? Was she famous?
She was like she wasn't famous. She was this blonde white woman that was singing in China, but she ended up marrying Spielberg afterwards. But it's like, what happened to her? So Marion is cool. It's always cool to see Marion, and it is cool to see two old people kind of like, hey, we love each other. But for her to completely say, from what the script's telling us, for her to say, I'm upset because our son went to war and died, so I'm going to be separate from you, is stupid. That does not happen. And I hate that because that makes him weak, meaning Indy weak, and that makes Marion weak. I just don't like that at all. But they just didn't want Marion in this movie. That's what it was.
Well, yeah, I think having Karen Allen and John Rhys Davies in this movie is going to be good for the name pull. The people, right. There are people who are going to see this movie based just off of that first trilogy alone, because they enjoyed that so much, and their nostalgic memories are going to bring them in to see all their favorite characters together, doing whatever it is they do. And that's just the world that we're going to live in now. We're going to see a lot more now at our age than we will probably 20 more years down the line.
Now, not to alienate our fans, because we do get stats and we see the age group, but before we get our popcorn rating, boomers love this movie, man. I have said this story before, I don't know how many times on our show, Eric. I'm telling you, my mom wears it as a badge of honor now. My mom is 66 years old, and the last movie she thought that she saw in theaters was Whitney Houston's Waiting to Exhale. I'm dead serious. It's just like, do you want to go to the movies? And she's like, I'd invited her to this movie. She was like, what are you going to do on Tuesday? I was like, oh, I'm going to go see Indiana Jones. The girls are going to go see Elemental. And she said, oh, I want to see Indiana Jones. I was like, you want to see Indiana Jones? She's like, yeah. You want to go with me? No. So, I mean, like, and of course, everybody in line was that age group.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're missing the mark, Eric. This movie is not doing great in the box office. This movie is not bringing Top Gun numbers, but the older crowd seems to really, really dig this movie, dude.
And that's, I guess, if they want to, that's fine. I'll get into my review about how things that are I find more wrong with this movie, besides it being the ridiculous story that it is already.
Popcorn rating then, right?
Yeah. The other part of it were the decisions that were made. There's a lot more killing in this movie. There's a lot of body count. There's a higher body count in this movie than I think any other movie, Indiana Jones movie, there was before. And unnecessary ones, too. That poor old lady, the secretary woman, who... who when they were the thugs were looking for Indiana Jones, or Dr. Jones, rather, and... they had just celebrated his, I guess, retirement, or however long he was working there.
Retirement.
And she turned around and was like, "Oh, are you looking for Dr. Jones?" And obviously the alert kind of came in where she's like, "Oh, better go yell for the professor." And then she and that guy get shot just in cold blood, which was like, wow, geez, that's pretty bold for a movie like this. The other thing were the thugs. They just seemed to just be bloodthirsty wherever it is they went. They didn't seem to really have a whole lot of strategy. It was just run, tackle, grab, shoot, kill. And that just seems like a bit too, I don't know, like monstrous, just kind of like bad guy, good guy type of thing. I think that, I don't know, if it was a Nazi or some bad guys, they want to be a little bit more low key and not just kind of run around with a gun in the air. Especially if you're a big hulking man like that guy is. See, you're gonna stand out, buddy. You're blocking doors, okay? And also this movie and the Crystal Skull movie, I understand that in this new age of technology and graphics that there is a lot of I guess acceptance of the green screen, especially for like the superhero or like space, or especially those Disney remakes. And it's hard to green screen act, and to separate that from one or the other, it's difficult too. We had the advantage of the first three movies being done without the green screen, or very minimal any sort of computer graphics that they would have on there, right? It was minimal, and it was done with a lot of prosthetics, trickery of cameras, and just plain old good set building. This and the Crystal Skull seem very much like green screen. Like the majority of it, or if not more than half, definitely it was done by a green screen or in front of a green screen. Why is that bad? It's because it feels artificial. When you have however long that chase scene was, where they're in the that three-wheeler, where it's Indiana Jones, Helena, and Teddy going through, was it Egypt or Turkey, or wherever they were?
Morocco, or
sure. The tan city. When they were driving, exactly. When they were driving through that, like that took a while. There's banter between these people. That's how long these chase scenes are. Is that when they're bantering between this whole thing too, and there never seems to be any crowded streets in these things too. Everything just seems to be allowed. Everything gets destroyed in their path, and unlike in the first one where if it was in a town, like there were people there to react. There was, a market there. There was a bazaar there. If there was a truck there, there were, people had to jump out of the way. Whereas this one, there really didn't seem to be a whole lot. Just kind of, I don't know, it's just a free obstacle course for these people just to run around and kind of play tag on. That's what took me out of this movie. The action
Okay.
was fun, and same with the Crystal Skull. I could see myself if I was younger, like playing along with it a bit more. These are longer, and I get it, but sometimes they get so long and ridiculous that it's like, right, well, okay, I get the idea. You can move on to the next thing now. Oh, we're on a boat now. Okay, keep it going, and you had this long chase scene, and now they're away, but it feels like they never got away because wherever they go to the next destination, the bad guy is just right there with this whole squad. Like they never missed a beat. They caught the next boat, and it was no consequence whatsoever. I didn't like this movie just for that. And because of what I'm saying is that it's 2.5 hours of that. It's the same beats that this movie and Crystal Skull had.
Is this going to be a bag of kernels?
No, I'll give this one a no bag just because I feel like
Wow.
you had every opportunity to do something else, but they played it safe and this movie felt like old people giving me a pizza party and calling it a good time.
Very good.
You felt like a bunch of executives with suits on saying, what do you think the kids are going to want? And they took a Twitter poll, and that's it. They took one Twitter poll, and they didn't ask anything else. And they said, yeah, that's good enough. Put it in the movie, and let's just greenlight it. Oh, can we get Antonio Banderas? Get him in there.
Eric, what's it going to take to make you give a movie a bag of kernels? I mean, does something have to completely destroy your heart?
Not good enough, man? I told you that I would have to walk out of something, and I've only walked out of a few movies in my life, and to maybe give it that. I didn't like this movie for sure, but at the same part, I'd say you actually talked me out of it, Jordan. You brought up a lot of good points, and I will give you that. I'm sure everyone listening could probably agree to that too. That yeah, the other Indiana Jones movies, albeit I guess maybe less exaggerated than this one, are still ridiculous. They still are doing things that aren't in reality. They are supernatural, but I guess there's that element of kind of fun, make-believe fun, and then there's like this, where it's just like, hey, hold on a second, we're gonna go on a long trip. There's bending and then there's stretching, right?
Right. Okay, well, no, I'm not trying to convince you to give it a bag of kernels. I think it's just going to be fun for me to put a movie on the schedule one day where I just am like, oh, Eric's going to give this a bag of kernels. I want you to give that because I already given it once, and that was Halloween Ends. So a bag of kernels is like a suit of armor. You know what I mean? Like this movie's crap.
But I didn't like Helena. Am I saying her name right? Who cares?
Who cares?
I didn't like her character. I don't like how they have to make some sort of relation, some sort of link between these people. Oh, this is my goddaughter, neighbor, cousin. No, just say that it's a family friend, or just say that she's a person that was a student in your class. How about you say that she obsessed on you for like it's you from 4 years ago, type of thing.
Yeah, why? Why not? Yeah.
Why does it have to be the daughter of your friend that one time when the thing stop? It does, yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that they brought John Rhys Davies back for him just being a taxi driver just to save him at the right time. That was kind of silly.
Stereotypical.
Mads Mikkelsen, I love that man. I'll tell you that right now. But his character was garbage in this. He should have died on that train when he got hit the first time
with the pole.
Yeah, with the pole. But at the same time, he's back, and he doesn't look like he aged a bit. He
No.
looks just as good. Like he just got off that train. He looks
He got
great.
some salt and pepper. That's all he got.
Yeah, that's all.
All
You can,
right,
that's
so
all how you can age meds. It's just gray his
um,
hair a little bit and hope he can talk raspier.
so for me, it's going to be a small. I will not go back to this. Maybe a Sunday afternoon when my wife and I are going to spring clean 10 years in the future and it's on, have it in the background. But I'm not going to seek it out. You know what I mean? It's been probably a decade since I've seen Crystal Skull. It's been a long time since I've seen the fourth one. So I watched and prepared for this one. My popular rating is not going to be as long as yours, bud. I went into this watching the other four, knowing that it's going to be ridiculous and crazy, because that's what the other four are. But my biggest complaints is the pacing and the writing. It's missing that Spielbergian touch. It's missing that Lucas fantastic storytelling, meaning not literally fantastic, meaning like the fantasy storytelling, it's just missing that. James Mangold, I get why they hire him. Hey, he made one good movie with an old man. Let's make another one. I don't like how Harrison Ford said this is his last time. And the last scene of the movie is literally his hat hanging out to dry. And you're like, oh, that's him hanging his hat. He's done. And then nope, he has to grab it at the end. Stupid.
Just like Brett Favre.
Just oof. Going right for the jugular on that one, big guy. But no, it's not good. It's not fine. I read a thing on ranked.com today that was released yesterday that said the Indiana Jones movies ranked worst to best. And of course, everybody picks Raiders as best. And they say the worst is still Crystal Skull. I don't agree with that on rank.com. I mean, this is the worst. This is bad.
That's a tough one. I actually think
this is bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. I might actually agree with that. I think I like. Well, no. Let me use the word. Let me use the words a bit more. I think I dislike Crystal Skull more.
Well, according to rank.com, the worst was Crystal Skull, then this, then Temple, then Last Crusade, then Raiders. I disagree. I actually think this is the worst one, just because of pacing issues. And didn't need to be this long. And yeah, that's multiple popcorn rating. I think it's a small. You think it's a no bag. One of these days, everybody, Eric will give a bag of kernels, and I can't wait for that day. That'll be fun for me.
Captain and the World of Tomorrow. I'll give that a kernel. I will punt somebody. How about that? I give that a rating.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll try to pull a retrospective out of my rear end, so that's in there some point in the future. Oh my God. Everybody, thanks so much for listening. This was a longer episode, just like Avatar. I knew it would be as long as Avatar 2, but thank you so much for listening. I actually have fun doing these longer episodes because it gives Eric and I a chance to really kind of analyze everything and kind of do
I hope we said everything that we wanted to say.
I do. Yeah.
I mean, it's always the thing where we end and it's just like, oh, I didn't mention the...
That's standard. But I hope the fans like listening to it, right? I mean, they clearly do. They come back, listen to more every Thursday. So keep up the downloads, everybody. Make sure to check us out on Movie Guys Podcast at podbean.com, on iHeartRadio, on Samsung TV, on Spotify, on wherever you get your podcast from. We are on every Thursday. Next week, we're going to be doing another movie. Yeah. You like that one?
That was good.
Yeah.
Can't wait to make that your new ringtone.
Yeah, right. Steal it. So everybody, thank you so much.
Every time you text me, it's going to be that.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading. We were going to go see... Okay, so the plan was the girls were going to go see Elemental because it was starting at 11:45 on Tuesday. And I was going to go see Indiana Jones by myself, and the girls went to see Elemental. And then they knew it was going to be longer, so the girls were going to go to Walmart. So we decided since I already saw Indiana Jones, let's just go see Elemental together. Right? When I was in film school in college, the manager and I became cool, and he took me at the projector room, showed me everything, and
I'm sure he did show you everything.
he showed
sir.
me a lot.
Jordan learned a lot that day
I did. Yeah, I did. Do you want
about watching movies, making movies,
Yeah,
producing movies.
But
Make sure the
anyways,
boom can pick it up.
But because I made films in college, he showed my films there. Well, that manager has now become the owner.
Okay.
I don't know his name. He doesn't know my name. He knows me as the Movie Guys guy, and I know him as Bud. Hey, Bud. And he's like, "Hey, Movie Guys."
Hey, you. Hey, guy.
Hey, Movie Guys. He says Movie Guys. And there's been times in the past where like I would show up like back in the day when Movie Guys first started, like I would show up at the last show at 11 o'clock and you let me go in for free. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Just been a buddy. Just been a guy. Just a guy.
Yeah. He's just hey, he's just a movie guy.
Just a guy.
Just hanging out.
So yeah. So this town is probably 10,000 people or less. Very small. So we pull up to the theater and there's a line around the building, Eric. Like it's huge for that small town. And they're all blue hairs.
Okay.
All blue hairs. And
Okay.
Gina's exact words were, all the blue hairs are here to see Indiana Jones. I was like, nah. So I drop the girls off to get in line outside and I go park in the back and I walk up. And I get in line with the blue hairs, and then I just say, me, dude, I can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And I
never met
and
a
I just-
stranger, that's for sure.
Right. And I just say to everybody, I was like, so, this loud like that. Everybody here to see Indiana Jones? And a lot of, yep. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh, okay.
I could see you doing that, by the way. I could see you, like, before you yell that out to the line, that you stand there, arms akimbo, too, and do, like, a dad sigh, that breathe, yeah. So, that up inflection, that Midwestern, yep. So, who's here to see Indiana Jones?
So, we're in this line for like 20 minutes, man, and it's hot. It's 11:30 in the morning. It's getting hot, and some of the younger blue hairs, like who know a little bit about a smartphone, are like, I'm not gonna wait in line anymore. I'm just gonna buy my tickets online and go in. Screw this, right?
Whoa, advanced.
So they buy their tickets online, and by the time we actually get inside the theater, like we're still waiting in line to get tickets. These younger blue hairs, like in their 50s, buy the tickets.
Snappers there.
These younger boomers, or these older Gen Xers, right? Just start going into the theater, and then like these innocent young college girls that work there, like, what are you doing? They're like, we bought our tickets. No, you have to wait in line so we can scan the QR code to prove that you bought the ticket. You just can't buy the ticket and walk in.
Right.
So then,
right.
so then these boomers are like, I have to get back in line. Oh, the millennials are entitled, not me. Stuff like
Greatest
that.
generation.
Right. So we get up front, and our little college girl who took our tickets, she was adorable. She had popcorn earrings, like hanging.
That's cute.
It's cute.
I get you. Yeah,
Cute.
that's fun, right?
Yeah, it's cute. She's having fun. And I said, hi, 3 for Elemental, please. And she goes, oh, we're not showing that today.
No.
And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. I was like, you should have put a sign out front there, bud, to let us know, And she's like, I'm sorry. Well, then go to the beginning of the story. Out of the office where the ticket booth is the manager buddy that's now the owner.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, bud. And he goes, hey, movie guy. Exact words there.
Flag him down, yeah.
And I was like, hey, what's going on? She's saying that we can't see Elemental. He goes, yeah, man, a ball burnt out. I'm in the process of fixing it right now. However, though, the next screen is a movie called Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. You want some popcorn? Here you go for free. Just go and see it. My bad. Go watch the movie. I was like, okay.
Things are looking up. Okay,
Right.
Thank you.
Talk
Might be a day saver there.
Talk about a period teenage girl movie. I fell asleep twice.
Now, when you say period teenage girl movie, do you mean like that Red Panda movie that we saw?
Yeah. So here's the basic plot. There's a family of Krakens, and they don't want to be Krakens anymore because Krakens are known to be monstrous, evil creatures. So they are the only blue people living on an island with light-skinned people trying to pretend that they're normal people. The dad Kraken is a fisherman. The mom's a real estate agent. You know, they have the brother that's goofy and crazy, and then you have the teenage girl. She's 15. Well, all of a sudden, her body starts to feel weird, and she starts having changes, and she can't figure it out. And the changes are the ocean is calling her, and she can't figure it out. Darn it, you know. And then eventually, she jumps into the ocean and finds out that she is an heir to the throne of Krakens, and their mortal enemy are mermaids. And she has to fight a long red-haired mermaid, not named Ariel, to, you know, become Queen Kraken.
You're talking about like
womanhood.
Okay.
Come on, I just told you. Her body's changed.
No, I understand that. And listen, I'm sure given that movie and its name, I'm sure there's a lot of jokes about Flo in there too.
It was terrible. It made $9 million at the box office.